Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Fote, your principal.
Hi, this is Miss Bunnell, your school counselor.
And Mrs. Pouliot, your assistant principal.
We know with the coronavirus pandemic happening right now, there are a lot of feelings going into this new school year and unknowns for not only parents and families as well as students, but also for staff. So we want you to know that we're here for you and we want you to feel as supported and safe as possible going into this new school year.
In our planning, we decided to create a video that will show you and explain to you some of what can be expected this year to help all of you feel more prepared and so that students are ready to follow the Mountie Way.
So our Mountie Way school expectations are going to be the same as last year. The only difference is that we're adding 3 new rules that relate to the COVID regulations. Students can practice being respectful by social distancing, responsible by washing their hands, and safe by wearing their mask.
And now we'll social distance and take you through some of the changes that you'll experience this year. At entry, K-2 buses are going to arrive between 8 and 8:10 a.m. K-2 walkers can start arriving between 8:10 and 8:20. 3 to 5 walkers will come next between 8:30 and 8:40. And the 3 to 5 bussers will come in between 8:40 and 8:50. Students will enter immediately into the buildings upon arrival and go right to their classrooms. Each grade level will be coming in a different door. Grade K will be coming in door C. Grade 1 will use door D by the ramp. Grade 2 will travel down the alley to door A where you used to come out for recess. Grade 3 will use door D. Grade 4 will use door J in the courtyard. And grade 5 will travel to the G door on State Street as if you were coming into the office or going to the auditorium. There will be attendants at each door to help your students in, make sure they're all set. Drop off and pick up doors will be the same, so when you're coming out, your students will be coming out the same doors they're going in to allow for social distancing.
In all areas of the school, signs and COVID expectations are going to be printed and will be placed throughout the building in common areas as well as classrooms. There's going to be a requirement that face coverings will be worn everywhere on school property at all times, except for when eating and when we're able to have mask breaks. And we'll give details on what those mask breaks will look like in a little while. All temperatures will be taken twice daily, once upon entry, and then there will be another scheduled temperature check later on in the day. Students will also be expected to stay at least 3 feet apart from the other person throughout the school and on the playground. Many students and staff are going to be excited to see each other and may want to welcome a person by giving a high five, a hug, a pat on the back, but we need to remember our Mountie Way and make sure we keep our hands to ourselves, especially right now. So alternative ways that you can welcome or communicate with a person is by using body language. So instead of giving a hug, you could give an air hug. You could give an air high five. You can also use spirit fingers to encourage somebody or congratulate somebody, and even a thumbs up.
In the hallways, they will of course be monitored by all teachers during transitions for reinforcing our masks and social distancing. Students should always walk on the right-hand side of each hallway in single file and maintain that social distancing of 3 feet. The yellow center lines and decals will be added in the hallways to reinforce those guidelines. We won't use passes this year for students traveling to the hallway or office. However, we will continue to use our nurse notes. Lockers, students should not go to their lockers when they're arriving. They should go immediately to their classroom, and lockers will be assigned for most students, and locker visits will be scheduled by the teacher.
These classrooms, when students arrive, their temperature will be taken and recorded upon entry. COVID screening questions will be asked as they self-screen. Teachers will designate a system in the classroom where in a particular area for students to take mass breaks. Teachers will ensure that the number of students taking mass breaks remains low and the 6-foot distancing in the designated areas or seats with sneeze guards will be used to create an extra barrier of protection. Desks and tables will be arranged so that there is a minimum of 3 feet, maximizing space between students, and using sneeze guards to create extra space. Materials will not be shared among students, things like pens, pencils, crayons. Students will be having their own. And in our classroom libraries, students will use hand sanitizer prior to choosing books, and upon returning the books will be quarantined for 2 days before being let out again.
Students should use bathrooms closest to their classrooms. Teachers will monitor who is leaving the classroom. When students wash their hands, make sure that they are washing their hands for at least 20 seconds, or they can remember it by singing the happy birthday song. Our faucets are now touchless, so when students wash their hands, make sure that they lather their hands with soap, wash in between their fingers, on top of their hands, and in between their fingertips, because that's where a lot of the germs are.
For students eating in the cafeteria, they will be allowed to remove their face covering only when seated at their table for lunch. All students will sit in their assigned numbered seats on one side of the table, so not this side, but here we are on this side. They're at minimum of 3 feet apart, and of course the tables will be cleaned between every group coming in. Social distancing stickers will also be placed in the lunch line at a minimum of 3 feet apart. Students shouldn't be leaving the cafeteria during lunch periods unless they have special permission with the teacher that is in the cafeteria. Grades 4 and 5 will be traveling here to pick up their lunch should they be having hot lunch and return to their classroom to eat.
Your specialty classes will go on 2-week rotations. Students will have the same specialty for 2 full weeks. This helps us minimize the cohort interactions for students and our staff. PE will be held here in the gym. Students will follow social distancing and be wearing their masks. Art will be held in the grade level classrooms in K-2, and in 3 to 5 they will travel to the art room. She has a really large room, thankfully. Music will be held in 405, as that's another large, easy to social distance space. Library and technology will be in the classrooms and will reassess after trimester 1. Also, SEL and guidance will be one of the specialties this year, and it will be held in the grade level classrooms. All specialty classes will have the same requirements as any other classroom, as wearing masks and maintaining our social distance.
For recess, students will be required to wear a mask at all times. Recess will be organized by grade level teachers to allow for a 20-minute break during the day. A schedule will be provided to teachers in order to utilize all play areas and minimize group size, but some play structures may not be available during recess.
So we've walked you through entry, through the halls, cafeteria, gym, and specialty classes. Now it may be time for dismissal. So students will be dismissed at specific time frames. Kindergarten through 2nd grade bus students will be dismissed at 1 o'clock and go right to their bus. Walkers or pickup students in kindergarten through grade 2 will be dismissed at 5-minute intervals. Kindergarten 1:05, 1st grade 1:10, and 2nd grade 1:15. At the 3 to 5 level, grades 3 through 5, walkers will be dismissed similarly at 1:35 for grade 3, 1:40 for grade 4, and 1:45 for grade 5, with bus students leaving at the 1:30 mark. If the buses are not here at that time, our bus duty for grades 3 through 5 will be held in the auditorium with social distancing planned for. Families who want to pick up children who will wait in the courtyard, we will assign areas for each grade level. A map will be distributed for families. Students should exit through the same door that they came in the morning. Let's talk about visitors. All visitors need to wear their mask as well if they're coming into the building. However, this year we are requiring that you have an appointment if you'd like to meet with anyone in our offices or our staff. So please call and make an appointment before arriving to our building. All visitors will be screened and temperature checks taken as well. We will have covered boxes out at each entrance. So if you're just dropping off a backpack or sneakers, you can buzz in, let us know who you are, what you have, and who it needs to get to, and we will let you in to simply place the item in that box. We will then retrieve it and deliver it to the student. If your student is tardy or you have to dismiss your child early, you will wait outside using our intercom system to have that conversation with the office staff.
For our first week of school, in order to get used to all these new changes, we're going to use a transitional or soft opening. On Tuesday, September 8th, 2nd and 5th grade students are going to return for a full day. Wednesday, September 9th, 1st and 4th grade students will return to the building. On Thursday, September 10th, we will host kindergarten and 3rd grade. Those will be the only grades in the buildings during those days. On Friday the 11th, remote learners will come to get their materials, and we'll distribute a schedule by grade level to create social distancing. The following week, we will begin our normal schedule with all students on campus each day. After school program will begin day 1 of our attendance. So if you're interested in those services, the requirements and forms can be found on www.frc123.org.
And in closing, with all these changes happening, just remember that taking care of yourself and making sure that you're happy and healthy is most important. We hope that this video helped and eased maybe some of your nerves coming into this school year.
If your family has any more questions or concerns, please email us, Mrs. Fota, Tammy Fota, Crystal Bunnell, or myself, Sandy Pouliot.
So from Mrs. Fota,
Miss Bunnell,
and Mrs. Pouliot,
we can't wait to see all of you on site and remotely. Have a great last week of summer.